Atlanta, it's time for coffee. Talk presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast. Here today, ladies and gentlemen, this is Coffee Talk, presented and powered by Spotify, of course. And also, this is Coffee Talk in the evening, Monday night. Ladies and gentlemen, boy howdy, let me tell you guys something. I'm very, very excited to, of course, be back here for the show. A very fantastic week we had last week, ladies and gentlemen. If you missed it, hopefully you didn't miss it. We had a lot of content, right? This show, of course, Ned McCain, latest episode 2. And by the way, I want to say, I think the episode 3 is out as of last night. I do apologize to a lot of people. That show not getting canceled, nothing wrong with the show. I had to postpone the finishing touches from Friday to Sunday because Friday I had to go a little bit out of town. Well, in town, but kind of out of town. A little bit more south of Atlanta on Friday to interview because I'm working on a secret project that you guys will know soon enough. But it's a project that is a big project that we're taking the toll on in a good way. So it took my Friday night, so I wasn't able to upload and to promote Friday night because I was in town, but I was out of town, if that makes sense. So hopefully you guys enjoyed episode 3 as of last night. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, boy howdy, thank y'all so very much for last week. You have a new episode of What Had Happened Was coming up, but stay tuned for last week's episode. You have Coffee Talk. You got One Big Question. Of course, along with that, some social media stuff that we posted as well. So we hope that you guys are ready for it. And I am thankful. I'm highly favored for our fan base here. Of course, the Kennedy Lucas Lift Mindset podcast will be coming out at some point this week. So we had to kind of postpone that too because of this interview we had to do south of Atlanta on Friday. So we hope that you guys enjoy the content. Very, very fantastic for this show. Of course, finally getting my drive back to podcast for you guys because you guys love the podcast. You love all the podcasts that we're producing and giving you guys out. And I just hope that, you guys enjoy the shows and enjoy everything that we got going on as well. So hopefully everyone has had a tremendous, fun weekend. A lot has happened over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Atlanta was popping. Of course, we had the Braves game this weekend. We had a lot of things going on for the weekend. Of course, I was at the gym for Saturday and Sunday of this past weekend. Church was this weekend, of course. I got to give a shout out to my squad. Of course, my squad, we went to La Perela's in Sandy Springs, a Mexican joint. Very, very good restaurant, by the way. So it was very, very fun-filled weekend, along with doing a little bit of catch-up. So it's been very, very fantastic. I hope that you guys are ready for this week and this week's content for sure. Now, if you're just now joining us, again, this is Coffee Talk powered and presented by Spotify. I love this show. This is one of my favorite shows to do. And we hope that you guys enjoy the show. We've got a jam-packed show for you guys too, by the way. But I wanted to talk about, some things that are getting ready to come up again. The next episode of Ned McCain, and also doing more of this show as well. So we hope that you guys are ready for it as well as I am. August is rolling through like it got somewhere to be. It's weird that we in August. I do say to a lot of people, stay safe. We've been having some heat advisories lately the last few days. It's been humidity. It has been hot because of that. It's been warm. I'm seeing it on the roads. People are driving crazy because they're hot. They're tired. The kiddos are back in school. Right, so we hope that everyone just enjoy the August weather, I guess, but just be careful when it comes down to it. So I'm very, very excited to talk about this next thing too, because I'm getting ready to go. This is kind of, we already did it, but we were just getting ready to start doing some photography work. Me and my new band. Yes, I am in a new band. I won't give the name yet because we're waiting for the photos to be done. I am very, very excited. If you guys know, you know. You got to follow me on my social medias, right? Kennedy Lucas NBA, or my LinkedIn, my Facebook, right? Because I post behind the scenes stuff on my social media. So you got to follow social media. But if you guys know, you know, yes, I'm in a band. And yes, we're working on a new album. And it's a new album that is not a self-titled Kennedy Lucas album. It is a self-titled band album. The band is going to be really, really good. If you guys know, you know, you saw it on my story. You saw it on my news feed. You know, I was able to get a electric guitar because we are cooking up some new music for y'all. So yes, it is true. The rumors are true. It is a rock and roll album. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. This is something that, you know, now with this album, and I'll say this real quick because this is not, I'm not just talking about the band and the album on this episode, but this album is a fun album to put together, yes. But this was an album that I'm saying, hey, I got nothing else to do. I mean, and I say that with candidly because you know, with podcasting, of course, we're finishing up Guardians and whatnot, right? I've got things to do, but this one was like, okay, we can pop in and help them produce this thing because, hey, why not? YOLO, why not, right? So we hope that you guys like this new sound that I'm dabbling into, and I like rock and roll. Don't get me wrong, right? I like rock and roll. I just a certain type of rock and roll that I like, and of course we were able to just kind of come together, write our songs, and to really put it in the studio, put it on the soundtrack, and you know, we hope that you guys like it. I really do. I'm very, very excited for it. I'm excited for you guys to listen to the new music that we've got from the band, and of course it's not titled The Band. I'm just waiting because the band said, hey, don't announce the name of the band yet until we get all the pieces together. We're still working on the kinks of it. We do have a band name, yes, but like we're just kind of waiting officially until, you know, the album's finished, and we do have a single from the album that's done. Actually, we're gonna do the single first and then get the album out, right? Just to kind of give it a little push. So I'm waiting. I'm gonna wait. But yeah, I'm dabbling into that. You know, it's just busy all around. It's just one of those things that I get very excited for. All right, so let's talk about it. I do have a conversation that I want to have with everybody out there first, and then coming up next, I'm going to review the movie Odyssey, or try to do as much as I can with the review of the Odyssey because that movie is great, and we'll get to that in a minute. I've got to put somebody out on blast, an entity. I'm probably going to post this on social media and not tag them because I love them dearly. I really, really do. Now, this is a topic of conversation that I'm going to tread lightly, right? I'm going to tread lightly on this conversation. This is just what I've been feeling. But I want to talk about it and not hurt people's feelings and not be so vulgar about what I'm going to talk about because it is kind of a sticky conversation, but this has just kind of been on my mind about this topic of conversation. And as a podcaster, I like to not be controversial, but I like to have good topics to talk about, right? Because if I didn't have good topics to talk about on the show, it won't be one great of a show, right? And I love them. I go to them every single day, or almost every single day, to get a nice workout, right? So it's not a call out to the company. I just wish they thought of something a little bit more creative. And Crunch Fitness, I gotta pull you in front of the congregation because we have to have a conversation. Now, if you guys know, if you follow me on my Facebook, which you guys can follow me on Facebook, if you send me a friend request, I'll friend back to you. It's Kennedy Lucas Patterson. That is my Facebook. Now with that Facebook, I don't really use it for family and social needs. I mean, yes, I kind of use it for social, but I just promote content on my Facebook now, right? Because that's just where I'm at. But I gotta put Crunch in the forefront in this conversation. I wish they thought of more creative promo when it comes down to their promo and their social media. Now, it's not to say that their content sucks. It's not to say that their marketing sucks, ladies and gentlemen. That's not what I'm saying. Because I do like Tip Tuesday with Sean. I do like that content. I do like that, you know, they're doing commercials and getting commercials out there on TV. I do like that. I think they need to push their commercials a little bit more because let me tell you guys something. For what it's worth, I have 2 degrees, right? I've got a bachelor's degree in marketing, and I got an MBA in organizational business, project management, organizational development. Right, that's where I got my master's in. I keen so much on my bachelor's degree because it's in business marketing. Right, that's where my head went when I was going through school. That's what I wanted to do. Right, because I like looking at companies and finding different types of marketing tactics to get good marketing within the business, right? I've worked with a lot of businesses. I've consulted with a lot of businesses. Obviously, if you guys know, besides K.L.P Entertainment Filmworks, I am a business consultant with my mom's company, ProMed Consultings, right? So I've been in this realm for a couple years now. I can't say that I will say that I'm kind of an expert, but I'm not like a super expert that everybody go to for marketing advice. That's not what I'm saying. I do wish that Crunch had a better business tactic, right? So if you guys follow me on Facebook, you know, I like to help the trainers, the reception desk people when they ask to do a Facebook share to push their algorithm. Honestly, though, I don't think that works. I really don't. I don't think that's good marketing, in my opinion, just to share a poster from somebody else's Facebook. You're not really doing anything when you're doing that, right? Unless there's some content creating that goes behind that, some marketing plays, some marketing dollars that go behind that share, you're not really doing nothing, right? And I just wish Crunch knew that, because you're not doing nothing. But like I say, I'm a big fan of Crunch, and I like to help them out, right? One of the reception desk at Crunch, they tell me that, hey, if they're doing a Facebook share and they take a picture that you're doing it, you get some sort of kickback, right? I am going to try to help the reception desk or the trainers out with promo because they get a kickback. I'm here to say, and I'm not shitting on people that work at these gym facilities, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. Unfortunately, they don't get paid as much as they should. I'm just going to call that out. They don't get paid as much as they should. They don't. Right? So they have to do all of these marketing tactics and shove shit down your throat respectfully because they're trying to get commission. It's the same thing with a lot of trainers that go up to you and want to do a kickstart plan, and they want to start training you because, number one, they can bill you for it, and number two, they get that commission off, right? I'm not shitting on people and fitness trainers who do that. I'm not. But that is the reality that I've seen, right? Honestly, I do think fitness trainers should get paid more, but it depends on their performance. It depends on how good of a trainer that they are, right? I've seen a lot of fitness trainers, they give to two gyms, right? And to name a few, to Snellville and Duluth, where trainers, they come and they go, right? I've seen trainers that come to Snellville, they move to Florida, or they move to North Carolina, or they're going to Alabama, or they're going to New York, right? I've seen trainers come and go because they're following the market, right? I've seen a trainer that, shout out to him, I won't put his name on blast, but he started in Snellville, he went away to start kickstart Duluth, he came back to Snellville, now he's in Beaufort, right? I get you got to follow the market, but when it comes down to their promo, I'm not a big fan of. They're running this promotion. I've shared it because I'm trying to help, but I'm kind of sort of against it because honestly, in my opinion, it is not creative. Sorry, Crunch, I got to put you out on blast a little bit. They've got the booty promotion, right? Booty promotion, where they are advertising your glutes and your ass on social media and websites and on the TVs in the facilities, and they're trying to run that campaign. Now, I get it. $1,000 is $1,000. I get it. I get that people are wanting to do that because the economy is really, really bad right now. I get it. I'm not shaming people for doing this competition to win with a chance of winning $1,000 because, hey, that's rent money. I get it. I'm not shaming you for it. I truly wish that they did something a little different. The reason why I say this, because gym culture, and I'm just, again, I'm not shaming women, I'm not shaming men. This is just what I've observed. gym culture has been sexualized a little bit too heavy this time go round. Right? Now, I can't sit here and say that I'm the perfect angel in this, because yes, I do gym content too, right? Yes, I do. Now, for me, I'm showing muscles and back muscles, leg muscles. I'm not necessarily going to show you my ass. I'm not necessarily going to take my shirt off and do a shirtless picture, right? I don't do that. And back when I was 20, 22, 23, I've done that, right? Because I was young, right? Now I've got big important jobs that, I don't do that because I've got a huge reputation. A lot of my positions, a lot of my jobs, they're very front facing. So I definitely don't do that anymore. And then the shirtless photos, I get it. I'm not saying on the podcast that I don't do shirtless photos to show my muscles because I'm insecure. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't do it because I've got a reputation, right? I'm very front facing in a lot of positions, a lot of opportunities right now. So that's why I don't do shirtless photos, right? And as you get older, that thing kind of plays out. Right. If you guys know, I'm 30 years young. Right. So as you get a little older, that stuff kind of gets played out. Right. It kind of be like, OK, that's for the young kids. Right. Not young kids, but that's for the young adults. Right. As I get older, I don't have to do that. So I go on to say there's nothing wrong about being a gym influencer, even though I like to say I'm not a gym influencer. I just do it for the fuckery of it. I do it for the fun. I don't do that just to make money off of being a gym influencer. I don't. But I was going with that to say there's nothing wrong with doing gym content. But I am a firm believer. Again, ladies and gentlemen, don't throw stones at me. I'm just saying this because I've observed it. The gym influencing, content creating has become sexualized. For my fellas with the top shirt, again, like I just mentioned it, the shirtless photos and videos and content. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna hooch my shorts way up because I wear hoochie daddy shorts too, right? But not that short, but hoochie I do. You can see it in my videos, but it's barely naked. They're showing the abs and they're confident. Again, there's nothing wrong with being confident in showing your muscles, but there comes a time where it might be a little too much and it's sexualized. That's what the fellas are doing. Now for my ladies, please don't throw a stone at me. This is just what I've been observing. My ladies, they got the leggings, tight leggings. Some of my ladies got the also the hoochie mama shorts, but they look like honestly I've seen them in they look like panties to me, man. And for my ladies, it's when they do the content creating, hope and audience, it's always an ass shot. It's always an ass shot. Again, ladies, don't throw stones at me. That's just what I've observed on social media lately. The camera is always facing ass. Always. 9 times out of 10. For my fellas, it's always the abs, but it's shirtless. All right? Again, you confident in your body. There's nothing wrong about being confident, right? But it is true that gym content creation for men and women, or they, them, because we don't gentrify really, it's been sexualized, right? So Crunch is leaning towards sexualized. They on their flyer, there's a guy that's doing the booty challenge from the poster in the video, but it's mainly women, right? Now, the young man that works the reception, that was the flyer he wanted me to share. And I shared it because, again, I try to help out as much as I can for the trainers and the receptions to get paid, right? But it's sexualized. And then we were having a conversation, and I asked him, is this the latest that I saw? I said, hey, this is the promo that y'all really running? He said, yeah. I said, man, I just wish Crunch thought of something more creative, right? Maybe an arms challenge, right? or a thigh, tricep, bicep challenge, right? Or use some of these influencers that bring the cameras in. I'm guilty of that, right? Yeah, I got a podcast, I got a fitness podcast, so I'm guilty of that. But have them create, so I like have them compete in creating something really, really dope in content creating. Some way, make a video about their fitness journey, right? Shoot, I think I should win $1,000 because I do a fitness podcast live from the facility, right? Besides the point, do something creative like that. That's entertaining, but is letting people know that fitness is here. Let that be your competition in your contest. Because the reception, I won't put his name out on blast, but the reception, we were talking about it, and he said lately he's been getting a lot of girls come up to him to go to him and say, hey, I took a picture of my ass for the booty challenge. Does this look good? He told me that, and I said, okay, this is what I think why women are doing that. And ladies, I'm not picking on you because I'm about to pick on my men too. But I guess this goes for men and women. Women and men, they're doing that because I think they will feel a little bit insecure, right? Or they're trying to get male validation. And this can go vice versa too, right? Because men will go up to the women trainers and the women receptionists. Hey, I post this way. I got my arms looking this way. I got my abs. Does this look good? Men are looking for female validation. We are so prone to look for validation in each other to make us feel good. And that's what I told him. He agreed. I said, that's why I hate this contest. That's why I hate this competition, because number one, to me, it's not creative, and it's just allowing people to be insecure about their bodies. And we seek that validation when you really shouldn't, right? I dance my ass off in the gym, right? I danced my ass off in the gym. I'm getting swoller, but I'm not getting a six pack. I'm working on that. Actually, it's forming, but I'm not being a bodybuilder, and I don't give a flying fuck about what people think about my workout routine and my regiment that I do in the gym. I don't. I sing in the gym, and guess what? I don't give a fuck about if you're annoyed with me singing loud in the gym, right? Because I don't seek the validation. I'm not insecure. That's why I hate this competition, right? I hate it. I think it's not clever. And I get it. You got to cater to the market, right? Because it's the gym influencing and gym contests. It's gym stuff. It's like sexualized. So that's the market. That's what gets you the clicks. I get it. But it's not creative enough, in my opinion. As someone who got a bachelor's in marketing, it's not creative. And I wish they just did something a little bit more creative in this game. And then I told the receptionist guy too, and I said, hey, I told him, hey, it may be because I'm 30, I'm getting old, right? But I don't really care if I'm seeking a girl that has a big booty or a flat booty. I don't care, right? A lot of dudes would say, yeah, I like a girl with a big old booty, right? And it's not to say that I don't like booty, right? I'm a straight male, so yeah, I like booty. Don't get me wrong, but I don't care if you got a flat butt. I don't care if you got a flat chest. I don't care. What I care about in my ladies is in the gym. I care that you are healthy, that you are fit enough to run and sprint and exercise and eat right. I care if your personality is perfect. That one day, if we really messing with each other in a romantic way, that you're going to be the one to hold me down. Right? Don't care if you white, black, green, orange, purple. If you are fit enough to be in tier-top shape and you like going to the gym because you have fun going to the gym, that's the one thing that I am validating for my ladies. Not to see if you got a big booty or not, right? Because the one thing I learned in church, a girl can be pretty, but she cannot be prepared. Shout out to Pastor Daniels, right? Because that passed last night or yesterday at church, he said something about that in the sermon. That catered to me because now, if you're at the gym, if you're like a 6'7", I said a new gen slang. If you're a 6'7", perfect for me, right? Maybe because I'm getting older, right? I'm getting older and my views have changed. My values have changed and trying to seek women, right? Give me the 6 because I know you're going to hold me down. You're going to like me for me, right? Those 6'7s, they don't care about the booty challenge, right? They just care about going to the gym and making it, right? Some of them might care because they're trying to win $1,000, pay that rent. I get it. I'm not judging. But some of the 6'7s, they do not care about the booty challenge. They care about continuing to go to the gym for their better health. Right? That's my take on it. I'm not really a big fan of it, right? I get it, but I don't get it. It's sexualized, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. It's very sexualized. Women are going to do the booty challenge to make sure that they booty looks good on social media for that validation. Then the men is the same way. Men are going to take that ab challenge, right? The ab challenge with shirtless photos with the muscles. And hey, I know I ain't knocking your hustle, but you don't have to do that for social media, in my opinion. Besides the point. So coming up next, I got to talk about it. This movie, the movie is, let me tell you, this movie's great. This movie's amazing. So Odyssey. I was able to catch Odyssey. What was it? Last Monday, Hope? I think it was last Monday. The one thing that I've started to do, I started to do this, and I'm very, very excited to do this. Now, I talked about earlier just now about seeking women and whatnot. We're not going to dabble into relationships talks that much anymore because it's just kind of dying out. I'm kind of getting tired of it. I am, even though yes, I am seeking girlfriend, but I have started to do what's called self-dating, and I love it. I love it. I really love it. Self-dating is something that I am starting to do because if you guys know, I am on a spiritual journey with God. We all know that. I've pod about enough about it. But I'm starting to do self-dating because it's fun for me. And I did see on social media that if you are able to do self-dating, or do things by yourself, you will have a ball. Now, if you guys know, you know, when I turned 30 this past May, I went to Cancun all by myself. It's not to say that my friends weren't invited, but this is something I wanted to do by myself. And I've had a ball going to Cancun by myself. I got on my flight by myself. I didn't have to worry about an extra person. I didn't have to worry if they're going to be late or they're going to be annoying. They're going to be stressing me out on my birthday trip. I was my own man on this trip. The flight was easy. Going through TSA was easy. Getting checked in was easy. Poolside, drinking, dinner was easy. And I just had a ball for a full week in Cancun of just relaxation and then humbling in my 30 years, right? So now, fast forward later, now in the month of August, I go to and you guys know, I go to the gym by myself and I go to church by myself. These things that I do by myself on a regular. But what I'm starting to make a norm for myself that each week, I was able to go on Monday because we, in my offices, I flexed office hours on this past Monday. So I was able to take a Monday off, and I took myself on a self date. And then Wednesday, I'm going to another self date. I'm going to Little Alley Steakhouse. Oh, I love that restaurant. But I say that to say, when you go on a self date by yourself, you have fun. And I'm always going to pray on this as I'm doing this as a journey. I'm doing this as a social experience for me. I'm doing this I'm doing self-dating to really understand myself, because God knows, Lord knows, that I've got a lot of things that I've got to work on. If you know, you know, I've liked a girl that wasn't good for me. And while I liked the girl, I was self-pleasure, right? And that stuff is never good, right? I encourage guys, don't whack it and jack it to people, right? Or to their images, right? Because that's a dark space. I was in that dark space, right? I liked another girl that I didn't whack in a jacket, but I liked her, but it didn't work, right? So I have a lot to learn about myself. And I know my sister Deamber is probably going to laugh on the segment, right? She's probably laughing right now because it's this shit, she clowns me for this. But I genuinely have a lot to work on myself, right? There's a lot of things that you guys don't know that I'm going through mentally and physically behind the scenes, right? I like to be transparent on the show because it just makes for a good show and you guys are listening and I just like entertaining you guys and really telling you guys the things that I'm going through. But I am going through these things. And I've learned to go on self dates to learn more about myself as a man, as a person of God, as a man of God. There's a lot of things and some people might say self dates might make you feel uncomfortable because you're doing it by yourself. But honestly, I'm here to tell you guys, for my ladies and for my men, but I'm really kind of talking to my fellas because I'm a dude, right? I'm talking to my fellas, but ladies, you can do this too. That once you go on a self date and you make that a weekly norm, you can do anything. You can do anything. You can do anything your heart's desire. Once you go and once you learn to do things that might seem uncomfortable, right? I called, again, this true shit. The other day, I called in my reservation for Little Alley Steakhouse for Wednesday. And after work, because Wednesdays are typically my rest days from the gym and stuff. After work, I'm going to come home. I'm going to get my clothes ironed. I'm going to look spiffy, and I'm just going to go out into town and eat, right? I called Little Alley Steakhouse. Yeah, a nice young lady that picked up the phone. I said, hey, I'm making a reservation for Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I said, yeah, we're making it for 1. Reservation for 1. And she was like, for 1? I said, yeah. And she said, oh, okay. And I said, and she was like, and I said, she kept saying, she's like, are you sure for what? I said, yeah, I know. And then when I told her, I said, yeah, I know it sounds funny, but I'm doing a spiritual experience for me. I told her I'm doing a spiritual experiment. I am now self-dating because I've tried to see girls. I tried to date. I tried to do all of the things. I tried to do the Tinders and the Hinge and the Bumbles. I've done that stuff before and it just doesn't work for me, right? So I'm retiring. I'm done for now. I'm taking a break. I'm doing self-dating. And then she said, oh man, I love that for you. I was like, yeah, it's weird, right? And I told her like, yeah, it's weird for you because you never heard that before, but I'm doing it. Again, fellas, once you do it and you set your mind to it, you can do anything, right? So, and then she asked me, and I told her that long-winded answer of that because she asked me if I was celebrating anything. I said, no, it's just date night, self-date night. And then that's when I told her that, hey, I've tried it. I've tried getting to know my ladies, and I've tried the social medias and the dating apps and the DMs, and again, Tinder and Bumble. And it just for me, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So now I'm starting to do self-dating and I'm having fun. So last weekend, the whole long-winded end of getting to this topic, last Monday I did self-dating and I went to the movie theaters by myself to go see the Odyssey. And I'm very, very excited because I think next week, next date night, it's going to be the movies again, but we're going to go see Spider-Man. But I saw the Odyssey and boy, howdy, this movie is very, very very, very good. Now, Odysseus, if I pronounce that Greek name right, Odysseus is played by Matt Damon. And I had a colleague and we were talking about it. And I said, Matt Damon in a serious Christopher Nolan movie? I don't know. But then when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, Matt Damon. And you often forget that Matt Damon is actually an Academy Award winning actor, right? I think he won for Good Will Hunting, I think. That's probably the movie he was in. So he's been in the movies for years, right? He's a serious actor, but then he spins off and do comedic movies and more sci-fi type movies, right? So you think, oh, Matt Damon, Matt Damon, right? But he played Odysseus really, really well in this movie, right? Matt Damon had to really kind of search his soul a little bit in this movie, and it worked, in my opinion. Matt Damon's one of them. He's one of them. And the queen, his queen, Anne Hathaway, I gotta say, for Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway, I gotta say, this is their best role. And I might be crazy. Some people might beg to differ that's listening, but I think this is their best role that they've ever done, in my humble opinion, right? To see them get so allocated and to see them get so endowed into the culture, endowed into the spirit of Theseus and the Queen, I get very, very excited, right? Anne Hathaway did really, really well in this movie. So the long-winded story is kind of a going back and forth kind of piece, of course. Theseus and his men, they are traveling throughout the world, and of course, they're traveling to the city or the empire of Troy. And Troy is a city, a Greek city, a Greek mythology city that they invade, and they take over the city of Troy. But as they are traveling through their ventures, they're going through all the Greek mythology myths, and the men dies, right? So that's kind of like the end all be all of the story. And then Theseus' son goes to trying to figure out where his dad is, right? So he tries to go around the world to find his dad because he's believing that the dad is still alive. Theseus goes to this outer world, right? And of course he gets the spirit that, he wants to go home and to believe that, he's the rightful king. And of course, Robert Pattinson's character goes in and he wants to control the empire, wants to control the town, wants to control the island because Theseus is no longer into it. Anne Hathaway needs to marry somebody because she wants to stay relevant. Not her physical person, but her character. She wants to stay relevant. So she's considering finding a new king, right? Because she wants to stay queen, and she likes the symbol of having king and queen to rule the land. And that didn't work out because Theseus finds his way back home. This movie with his men going through, and of course he, I forgot the witch's name, but they go on this island, and the witch turns them into pigs, and that was really interesting. That they were gorging themselves with food and they couldn't stop. It was gross to see, but it was cool to see because they turned them into pigs. And of course, Theseus like, okay, where are my men? Because those look like my men. Like I say, this movie, and then you got Zendaya in this movie that we think is playing Athena. We don't know it's playing Athena, but she's kind of like the backstory of it. She is the woman that was at Troy, and they killed. Of course, the men chopped her head off, and now Theseus is seeing Zendaya's character's ghost around, right, guiding her through. And of course, the men go through what is their version of hell. And a lot of men, they lost, right? They lost a lot of the Empire's men. It was good to see Elliot Page in this movie. I think it's been a while that Elliot Page had their moment. If you guys know, hopefully I'm saying this right now. Elliot Page, if you guys know, way back when, it was Ellen Page, right? But now they transitioned over to Elliot Page. And I think Elliot Page been in some movies before, I just haven't seen him. But it's good to see Elliot Page, him on the big screen, right? Because that is impactful. It's like when I saw him for the first time, I was like, oh yeah, I know who that is. But it's been a minute, right? Because it's been a minute, right? So I think this is Elliot Page's comeback. He played really well in his role too, right? Getting, stabbed to death, and he's part of the men, part of the crew. So very, very, very good movie. And hopefully I kind of explained it sort of well when it comes down to it. But this movie I saw for the story, right? You really got to understand Greek mythology to really get everything. And I'm sure there are some parts that I still don't understand in this movie. And maybe I just got to go back and read see Greek mythology again and just really read into it. But I wanted to harp on, before I move on, the sound effects, right? The sound in this movie is incredible, right? I think the most incredible thing, towards the beginning of the two incredible things, I think, was when you hear sword clanging against each other, you really hear the swords clanging in your ears. I saw this movie in theaters on self-date night, and when they are on this island and they found the cave, right? They found the cave, and a herd of sheep comes in, but then there's this big giant that comes into the cave. This giant eats people, right? They get trapped in the cave with this giant, scared as hell, and when they stabbed the giant in the eye because it has one eye, stabbed the giant in the eye, and the giant was screaming. You could hear the impact of that scream in the theater. It felt like we were in the damn cave with that giant. It was so loud, my ears were actually ringing. I would not be surprised, and they're probably going to win for best sound design in this movie, right? Honestly, though, I do think the Odyssey is going to have a sweep at the Oscars because honestly, this year we've had a lot of good movies, but we didn't have a lot of amazing movies this year, right? We had a lot of good movies, don't get me wrong, in 2026 so far, but we haven't had a plethora of just, oh my God, that is a banger movie like we did the Odyssey. I do say to a lot of people, though, if you go to see this movie in theaters, it is long. It is a very, very, very long movie. The Odyssey was the first movie ever that I had to get up and go to the bathroom. Now, luckily, when I went to the bathroom, it was towards the end of the movie, but I said, okay, I'm going to have to miss a scene or two because I have to pee. So I got up, went to the bathroom, quickly shimmer around, take a piss, shimmer around, wash my hands and ran back to my seat because I didn't want to miss another second, but I had to miss a scene or two because I had to go to the bathroom. So again, this movie is available only for theaters right now as we're recording the pod. It's long. It's very, very long. So you got to anticipate it being long, but I think Christopher Nolan, hot damn, he's going to have another sweep of the Oscars. And I honestly got to say, this movie is better than Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer, he did last year. Good movie, don't get me wrong. Or 2 years ago, I think. But this one is better than Oppenheimer. I gotta say it. Very fantastic movie from Christopher Nolan. I really love all his movies, honestly. The Dark Knight, The Tenet, Oppenheimer, and now The Odyssey. And of course, he made another movie that I can't think of right now. But he's good. He's well established. He's a multi-millionaire director. I would love to work with him one day. I really do, because he's just such a he's one of those lists. He's on my list of best directors, right? Love this movie. Long, but I love it. So I'm going to turn it over to Marcus and Emma for more front page news, and we'll be back to close the show, ladies and gentlemen. So stay tuned.
Okay, so D23, right? Like, wow, my head's still like spinning from all the announcements. It was truly a lot.
Absolutely, Emma. It was monumental for Marvel. They went straight for the jugular with the X-Men cast. Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. Just brilliant casting, in my humble opinion. He's got that intensity, that presence, you know?
Oh, totally. I gasped. Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister? Like, that's inspired. Can't wait. And who else for X-Men? Heard a few names.
Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, Kit Connor as Cyclops, Maya Boyd as Storm. A fresh take. And then, the new Avengers Doomsday trailer. Dr. Doom raising an army of Sentinels.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Doom and Sentinels? Sounds insane. What about Vision Quest? Ultron in human form? That just sounds wild.
It is, Emma. It really is. Paul Bettany is back as Vision, and James Spader's Ultron is indeed in human form for Vision Quest, exploring Vision's humanity. It's set to premiere this October on Disney+. But let's pivot to Star Wars. Ryan Gosling is confirmed for Star Wars Starfighter. I mean, come on, Ryan Gosling in Star Wars.
Oh, stop it. Ryan Gosling, like actually in Star Wars? That's huge. What kind of character is he playing? Hero, rogue, villain?
He's Cade Oberon from the wrong side of the galaxy. Sounds very Han Solo-esque. And Ahsoka Season 2 is coming in January. Hayden Christensen is back as Anakin, advising Ahsoka.
Wow, Anakin too? That's awesome. Okay, let's jump to animated. Frozen 3. And I heard Olaf's getting a love interest. Oh, my heart.
Wow, it's a snow woman named Samantha. And Anna and Kristoff are in fact going on their honeymoon. Elsa discovers a portal to an ice world. That's fall 2027. Beyond Arendelle, brand new animated films. Hexed stars Hallie Steinfeld and Walton Goggins, Jodie Foster as Witch Queen, this November. Wow, those sound intriguing. Any others? I'm always looking for something new from Disney Animation.
Absolutely. Clay is about a stinky mentor, Flip, voiced by Kieran Culkin, and his chaotic clay student, Mushi. November 2028. And Zootopia 3 is officially confirmed with feathery flyers.
Feathery flyers. Oh, that's intriguing. I'm picturing a whole avian city. That's so cool. And speaking of beloved sequels, Pixar had some big news too, right? I heard whispers about Coco 2. Yes, Emma. Coco 2 is confirmed for November 2029. Teen Miguel, Ernesto de la Cruz seeking revenge. Plus, Coco characters are crossing into Kingdom Hearts 4 late 2027. That's just amazing. Coco 2 and Kingdom Hearts together? My mind is blown. What about The Incredibles 3? I heard something about the kids taking over.
Yes, June 2028. Violet and Dash take the lead, struggling with Jack's powers, while Bob feels less relevant. New originals include Ghost Market and Gato.
Oh, sentient ramen and a cat mob boss? Okay, those sound wild. What about other live-action news? I caught something about Tangled.
Katherine Hahn as Mother Gothel in the Tangled remake, March 2028. So perfect. Princess Diaries 3 is in development, taking time to get it right.
So, what other nostalgic trips did D23 throw our way, Marcus?
Oh, they certainly did. Ice Age Boiling Point in February 2027 with Scrat, and the Jonas Brothers hyped Camp Rock 3, just debuted on Disney+.
Wow, any new seasons for Disney Plus series?
Percy Jackson Season 3 premieres November, with Ming-Na Wen as Hera. Romeo and Michelle 2 updated. Jon Favreau introduced a hand-drawn Oswald animated miniseries, February on Disney+.
An Oswald miniseries. His Nat Geo Line miniseries with Hans Zimmer too. Plus the Bluey movie and Simpsons movie sequel teases. It feels like Disney dumped a truckload of content.
It's an absolute feast, Emma. Disney's setting the stage for an unprecedented slate. So much to look forward to across all franchises.
And that will do it on this podcast, ladies and germs. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Emma, Marcus, thank y'all so very much. They're here in the studio as well. We hope that you guys enjoyed today's show. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Of course, we got another great week of content coming out. Of course, we've got this show on Monday night tonight. And then we got what happened was, I think, either Tuesday or Wednesday. And then Ned McCain comes out on Friday, or scheduled to come out on Friday, and then the Kennedy Lucas Lift Mindset podcast set to come out this weekend, weekend coming up rather. So we love you guys. Thank y'all for staying tuned, and we'll see y'all in the next podcast episode. Until then, we say so long, stay safe, stay swanky, peace.
We bring in good energy.
This has been Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify. From our cast, we thank you for listening.
Yeah.